Hi guys. I think probably the biggest surprise to me was the shock. Right, the shock. First, that this really can happen. That this type of evil can exist. That everything they've ever told us about anti-Semitism and hate is true. It's all true. It's a hard thing to believe. It's a hard thing to take in. What's most shocking to me right now is what's going on in the world, obviously. And, when October 7th happened and pictures started coming out and we started to understand what happened and what was still happening there, the levels of inhumanity and cruelty and evil. At the same time, we saw the glee. We saw the happiness. We saw the celebrations. We saw people that are genuinely happy for our pain. And that, I think, shocked me much worse, because it showed me that there is a way of thinking that is so alien to everything I believe in and to everything that the liberal West and everything that the accomplishment of thousands of years of progress have just rolled back to, where it's just plain enjoyment of others' suffering. That's it. This type of ideology, it's not the first time we've seen it. ISIS and Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, we've seen jihad all over the place, and we still see it. And after this shock, then there's this understanding that this is what's been happening, right? I mean, it's so clear. They went in through your universities, right, where 18-year-olds who just want to do good in the world and don't know much about the world, they come in, and that's where the manipulation starts, right? That's where they start changing the language, right? Genocide. They've changed that from genuinely wanting to kill a nation and destroy people. They've changed it to self-defense. That's what genocide is now, if you defend yourself. They've changed ethnic cleansing, right, from a word that meant actually kicking out people so that they won't be there. They've changed that to exactly the opposite, right? 20% of Israel are Arabs. According to a recent poll, 70% of them are against what Hamas is doing. They look at that, they don't want that. This isn't about Palestinian freedom. They've had endless. If they wanted to build a country, they would have had an amazing country with the amount of money that got poured in. So it's not about freedom. It's just about kicking out the Jews. That's all this has ever been about. So they came in to your universities and made your 18-year-old kids believe that, doing good means advancing a jihadi view. They've redefined the English language to fit that, and then they released them upon the world. The word for that is indoctrination, basically. It seems that the US is majority is for Israel, that they see through this bullshit. In my own country, who knows what's going to happen? What I'm seeing on the ground is that we have an army that is the most advanced army in the world. We've taken technology and used it to minimize casualties. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what an army is supposed to do. It's supposed to defend its people while minimizing collateral damage. By definition, we are doing more for the Palestinian people than Hamas is. So now we have the Excel spreadsheet of death, right? Where they're counting dead babies. And that's kind of the scorecard. Intent doesn't matter. You know, that went out the window some time ago. So what happens if they win? What happens if Hamas stays? Well, it means that this is an idea and this is a method that works. I'm not sure what the answer is. We have to win this. There's really no other choice. Every single thing that is Western and liberal at all, including... No, I want to take that back. This isn't the word Western here and liberal. Those are byproducts of a certain way of thinking. Certain way of thinking that values life, first of all. You know, the freedom and pursuit of happiness at the individual level. And that pursuit of life is not just in the West. It's also in Eastern cultures, and there's always the risk of that getting replaced, right? Of replacing life as the ultimate value with death as the ultimate value. And that's the basic, that's jihad. Jihad says that the greatest thing that you can accomplish, or your children can accomplish, or anybody you care about, is dying for the cause. And the cause being the Islamic world, the Islamic Caliphate. Right? So, and if you die and if you kill, then if they're Muslim, you did them a favor because they go to heaven. And if they're not Muslim, then, or apostates, or traitors to the Muslim Islamic religion, then they go to hell. So everything's good. So dying is great. Right? So, and when you wake up in the morning and you go to work, and you spend time with your kids and you watch TV, and everything you do it for a reason, right? And that reason is either going to be to advance life, or it's going to be to advance death. So to me, at least, there's no simpler answer here. There's no question about good versus evil. This is obviously evil. I can't think of any other way to define evil than the pursuit of death without any room for discussion, or there's just nothing to talk about, right? And we almost stamped out ISIS. I mean, ISIS as an organization was stamped out. The difference really between ISIS and Hamas is just priorities. I mean, ISIS wanted to purify Islam first. That's it. We were all next. Al-Qaeda, they were about killing everyone, and they were about America first, right? But it's all the same. It's all the same. The difference is power structure, egos, the normal human stuff. So, you have to stand with us. There's really no other choice. We're at the forefront of this. The army is just incredible. I mean, it's what you get when you really combine liberal free thinking with a desire to live and to survive. And again, this is we're perfecting technology for targeted killing of evil, is basically how I would summarize that. Mistakes are made. Some people are more extremist than others, or think that line falls elsewhere of who is innocent and who is not, or who is tied to Hamas and who is not. But again, intent matters. If there's no intent, then it's basically you're a nihilist, then what does matter? Nothing matters. Okay, so there's no difference in doing anything. And I mean, that's a way to live, but it's not really tenable long term, right? That's how you get fascism or any other extreme ideology, like the first virulent extreme ideology. And that's what's happening with Islam, right? Because the West has, I don't know, fallen into some white guilt. I hate using these bucket names, right? But sometimes things are what they are. And the Europeans have done some nasty stuff, right? I should know. But paying for the mistakes of your grandparents is, there's no end to that. It's like the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, right? Whenever we talk about the history of the conflict, and it really depends on what timeline you choose to look at. I mean, if you choose to look at it from, the Paleolithic age, I don't know. I mean, who goes back to where? Who deserves what land? It's endless. But if we look at the here and now, Israel is here. Palestine is here. That's just the way it is. So if you look at the two sides now and just say, what do you want? Right? What do you want right now? So Israelis will give you a lot of different opinions, obviously. And, until October 7th, we were out on the streets every week, at least once a week. And part of that was, splitting ourselves apart from the Palestinians, ending what they call the occupation, right? And that voice was very well heard. I don't know to tell you if we were winning or losing, I don't know. But we were fighting that fight because intent matters. On the other side, though, you never saw that. Palestinians are, I don't know, they're addicted to the Nakba narrative, right? To the disaster narrative. And again, our grandparents suffered. I don't doubt that Palestinian grandparents suffered as well. And we can talk about why it happened and how it happened. There's a lot to talk about there. But again, we're fighting our grandparents' war. And what's worth generational conflict, Your grandparents had to move. It sucks. It does suck. I've moved 7 times in my life. Sometimes it was fun. And yeah, it sucks. But you're carrying out a multi-generational war, hurting your children and your chances for the future. For what? So is it envy? Is it anti-Semitism that you were learned to kill the Jew from Islam and Khaybar and all that shit? And just look it up. It's all about the murder of Jews. Everything I'm talking about. Is that where you are, or are you for life? That's it. That's the only question that matters. Alright guys, so I think I've talked your head off. You just wanted to know how I am. Well, I was finally able to listen to trance music 2 days ago without feeling sick to my stomach. So that's a very optimistic sign. So you guys have a great day. Join us and we'll beat this. But you gotta talk to your kids. Bye guys.